I'm tired too. We're here at Superbooth, Schlappi Engineering. How's it going?
It's going good.
How's Berlin treating you so far?
Berlin's awesome. I don't ever get to sleep. There's a lot of techno.
And anti-techno. There's an anti-techno machine.
Take me to it.
So, new modules, new company, completely new stuff. Do you want to walk us through, I guess, the range?
Sure. So the first module that's being released so far is the interstellar radio.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it takes an input signal and it turns it into a high frequency pulse train, and then it demodulates it back to an audio signal and gives you, you can control the rate at which it does that separately, so it just destroys the signal.
Which is how radio works, right? To some degree?
To some degree. It actually it uses voltage to frequency converters from the automotive industry. It kind of comes out of a circuit I did that created a voltage to optical converter.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use it without an input signal as a very strange oscillator. You can use it as...
sounds like it'd be great as a percussive source through low-pass gates or VCAs.
Yeah, I really like it kind of as a... So I have my drum machine, and I use it to control other elements of the patch, but I run the audio from the drum machine into the interstellar radio and get this just totally crushed. And I usually have it, instead of having it run all the time, bring it in on like the first beat or every other beat, and you can get these...
Quite dynamic destruction.
Yeah.
Nice. So there's a load of other new modules as well by the looks of it. Yeah, do you want to work left to right or...
Yeah, so I think the next one is going to be this angle grinder. It's a quadrature sine wave oscillator. You can, if you want to use it as a sine wave oscillator, you can track 7 octaves. It's temperature compensated. That's not really the point though.
But it is a kind of nice, clean call.
It can do that. And it, if you're unfamiliar with quadrature concepts, is it outputs the 4 phases of a sine wave, so each, you could use it as an LFO.
So each is 90 degrees out of phase of each other. You could have that pan around the quad space.
Yeah, exactly. But what makes this special is let's see. So let's first listen to just an oscillator, right? Pretty boring. Or this is a dual oscillator. It does its job. So you feed that into the angle grinder. You can actually tame it significantly. And use it kind of as a quadrature pulse wave modulator. So if you bring it down to just one phase, it's basically a form of pulse wave modulation, but you can bring in all 4 phases, and then you can extend it to audio rate, and then you can feed it back into the oscillator.
That's very polite.
It's very polite, and it gets pretty extreme. And so that's taking it from the grind output. You can also take that from the quadrature outputs, which if it's being used in this way, it's actually comes out as a state variable filter. So you have low pass, band pass, high pass, and notch pass. And you can get all the standard filter sounds out of it. Or you can the volume gets kind of out of control sometimes.
Sounds like it's trying to resync to something.
Yeah, exactly. So you're injecting this compared signal back into the heart of what's oscillating. So you're kind of resyncing the oscillator with
itself.
With itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could run that beat that we were using earlier into it.
Some really cool destructive stuff going on.
Yeah, and you could also use it just as a very unusual LFO. You can bring it down to LFO rate and get out.
Can we check out the distortion ladder?
Yeah, and yeah, so it's a ladder filter into a VCA, and then that VCA goes out into a distortion. So now you have voltage controlled distortion after the and you have two different tone types for the distortion.
Brutal and more brutal.
Brutal and more brutal, pretty much. And it really likes to kind of it likes to freak out and do its own thing. And that's all under voltage control.
So crazy, wild. Some of the stuff I guess starts clean, then isn't, and some of it is just filthy from the start.
Yeah, and it can track volts per octave for 7 octaves if you want that.
All right, okay.
It's temperature compensated. You could use it as an oscillator. My idea is it's kind of on the if you want the standard stuff, it's there, but that's
not really
the point.
Yeah, okay. So what kind of pricing are we looking at? How far off are these from being released?
So I'd like to do angle grinder in the next month or two.
Okay.
Probably the harmonic placer or the distortion ladder will come next. The pricing depends on how much it costs me to make them.
Okay, not quite there yet.
I'd probably $200 to $300 range. I'd like them to be as affordable as I can while still afford to keep making them.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.